Kia ora, and welcome to the first Light Lunch for 2014. Today I'm joined by Annie, who is our Next Gen Award winner, and by Mike, who is the GM of Resine Construction Systems, who actually sponsored this award at our awards last year. So Annie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Annie Zhou. Thank you, NZILB, to give me this award. I'm a PQS, currently working for RLB. I'm also part-time study at Massey, major in digital built environment. Thank you.
Very busy then.
Yes.
And Mike?
Hey, welcome everyone, and thanks NZIB for having me along. I'd like to recognise Annie and her achievement there for the Next Gen Award that she received last year at the national conference. And you can't emphasise the importance of the Next Gen coming through. I know as an industry from our side, it's one of our contractors' biggest challenges, particularly because we're generally involved in physical trades. So it's great to be here and to support the Next Gen across the industry. And just a little bit of background on myself. I've been involved in this industry and this business, in fact, for nigh on 32 years, 33 years this year, I think it is. And you start to lose count after a while. And so we've gone from essentially a plastic cladding business through to now being involved with acoustic and fire rated systems and flooring systems, and over and above all the other sections of the Resine group. We're sort of affectionately known as the dry powder division, so because of all the mortars and the renders and the things that we do. So whereas everything else pretty much in the Resine group is liquids in terms of your paints and coatings. So we have a nice niche within the industry now, and we've got most bases covered across the group. So it's a pleasure to be here and share a bit of who we are with you all this afternoon.
Yeah, very nice, thank you. And a huge supporter, sponsor for the NZIOB as well, so thank you very much. We are going to hear a couple of things that have been keeping you guys awake at night. So Mike, would you like to kick us off with something?
Yeah, I think the three things that I sort of keep me awake at night, outside of dog snoring, is the inevitable cyclic race to the bottom that's potentially inevitable, coming up with the inflationary pressures that we're facing, and so price becomes the key thing to reduce costs into the built environment. And that doesn't necessarily mean you get a better build. So that tends to happen cyclically when price pressures come on and interest rates rise. And obviously when the consent numbers are coming back as well. So you start to have all these other little pressures that pop in, and people want to be busy. So one of the first things they jump to is obviously to try and nip the price in the bud. The other one, obviously, is the inflationary pressures across the industry, and that has an impact not only on a business and financial perspective, but also socially as well, in terms of, which leads on to my next one, which is my people's health and well-being in the business, and obviously the financial pressures and life pressures that have sort of are a consequence of the inflationary pressures within current society and the current government.
Cool. So Mike just gave us all three of his, so we might circle back and talk about that last point again, Mike, and maybe you can give us some examples of how you're helping your employees.
Sorry, I thought you needed all three at once. That's all right.
Fine, it's fine. Right. Annie, you can go with three things keeping you awake at night. Go on.
Oh, okay. Similar to Mike, but in much smaller scale. Because modeling is my hobby, so I do it at work, also do it after work. What I'd like to do in the evening is I always try to visualize everything in my mind for the projects what I'm doing. Previously, I was involved in residential projects, so I constantly thinking, how to make frame and truss. So I also made a 1:12 scale frame and truss model myself. And now I'm doing railway projects. This is something totally different, infrastructure projects. And in Auckland, actually, there's very limited expertise in railway projects. So I just teach myself also with the help of my mentor at work. And I built some train models, electrified it, so it has signaling. It has OLE as a display, and also make some construction site scene. So as a display, also for educational purpose, to show my colleagues, how railway projects works. Yeah, that's probably the thing I think most of the time. And the second thing I'm thinking is, because I understand construction is very stressful, and there's so many smart and talented people in this industry. But the problem is sometimes smart people, they don't get along well together because they're all so independent. They all have their strong opinions. So sometimes I always check out the people around me, if they're just everything is okay, mate, or So sometimes I do take notice to ask them, how you're feeling today. Do you have something you want to discuss with me? And I actually have quite a few close friends, and they share with me the working environment. So sometimes I talk to them in details and tell them how to resolve some little conflicts through negotiation and communication. Yeah, I think that's a very important softer skill.
Definitely.
And certainly what I do is I probably think about to-do list in my mind. So not just at work, it's also just check out what's new. And just like my professor, he's constantly sending me, feeding me, new informations like new software, new apps, and hardware, etc. So I need to find out a time to test it and try it myself. Yeah.
Where do you find all the time to do all this, Annie?
We're talking about what's awakening us at night,
Yeah,
right?
at night time, yes.
Yes.
So you don't sleep at all. Oh, that's quite funny. Oh, good. Yeah, Mike, did you want to talk to us a little bit about, I know we're going to talk about wellbeing soon, but maybe you could talk to us a little bit about the wellbeing around the workplace and things that you're doing and implementing to help your employees?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing we got engaged with over the last sort of 18 months has been around that mates in construction, and getting them to come in and share with us and have events at our workplaces and things like that, to to open up awareness. And there are other people to talk to. You don't have to talk to your work colleagues, and then that becomes public in the workspace type discussions. There's also EAP. So we have an EAP service within business, and we've had that for a number of years now, and that's been fantastic for people to go to an independent professional in that particular area that they've got concern in, to try and deal with some of those challenges they face. I think generally a lot of the issues. I would suggest that potentially 80% of the issues that we face in the workplace can stem back to the private life, in terms of the challenges that are sort of imbling away in the background, but they just don't disappear, So I think we support a lot around that space as well, and I think that's invaluable. Once again, you can put all the tools out there, but if people aren't prepared to engage in those tools, that's always one of the biggest challenges. We can't force people to, but I think if we can, as long as they're consistently aware of the resources that are available to assist them, then that's a great step forward,
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right, let's maybe get a little bit lighter. Mike, what is something you have been either reading, listening, or watching that you could share with us?
Well, after long haul travel to Europe this last Christmas, I've seen every latest movie on Air New Zealand flights. So I've jumped back into a bit of Netflix now, and I love a good mafia movie. So I've been watching The Irishman, and I've just got to finish The Irishman off tonight. Good Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro. And to lighten things up a little bit for a bit of humour, I enjoy listening to a bit of Jack Whitehall, and he's got his latest one out is called Settle Down. So that's what I've been sort of watching. In terms of listening, when I get a chance, I'll just jump into the James Marshall podcast, the Lads, What a Lad series, which features sort of high-profile rugby players and coaches, just to sort of lighten the day-to-day up.
What a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Annie, what about you?
I'm actually a big fan of English director Ridley Scott.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you heard about him? I mean, is probably around 85 years old now, but he's still very, very young, very, very energetic. Because I really love sci-fi movie, so I really like the alien movies he made. I think sci-fi and fantasy, they're actually very different. I'm not very into Marvel, but I'm very into hardcore sci-fi movie.
Wow.
And especially Ridley Scott, he's not just talking about sci-fi, he's very into history and the philosophy as well. So he can blend everything well together. Everything is just like a piece of art to me. Apart from that, I think last year I read some books. There's one called Aroha, because I'm also very interested in Maori philosophy. I have quite a few Maori friends. And they told me Maori's philosophy, their view is always about ocean, sky, mountain, river, and they're very spiritual. So they can link themselves with the natural environment, also can have some connection with their ancestor. I think that's very interesting. That's just make me feel I can fit in well with the time and the space where I am at the moment. Yeah.
Wow. Perfect. And what is something you do for your personal well-being, Mike?
Golf's my go-to. Yeah, clean air for half a day, and generally more of a good walk than great golf in most situations. But you can't beat a good walk with some friends and a bit of banter for half a day. So that's my go-to for a bit of relaxing time.
Nice. Well, we're going to be together for golf in a couple of weeks.
Yep,
Yeah,
we certainly
nice.
will be. Go Northern.
What about you for your well-being? What's something that you do for yourself?
Me?
Yeah.
So I'm not a very sporty person.
Okay.
But
Who am I?
yeah, but New Zealand, but there's so much outdoor activities available. I'm actually influenced by the culture. So I do hiking and jet ski, fishing occasionally, not regularly. Because for me, for pleasure, I really enjoy solo time.
Yeah,
Just by
no.
myself. Yeah, because I'm quite like making craft, to make things.
Yeah.
That's the thing, I feel very enjoyable.
I think we might be quite similar on that, Annie. I'm a bit more of a crafty, getting lost in it kind of indoor person as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's nice to just have that time alone, right, and get lost in something. And Mike, what's your motto?
I'm a firm believer in you get back what you put in, and people say work hard, play hard. I'm a firm believer in early starts, late finishes, and getting as much out of every day as you possibly can.
I think you do that as well. I think we've seen that. And Annie, what's your motto?
I don't have motto, but the recent couple of years I found one is a very good one. I keep using it for my colleagues and friends. It's do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. It's kind of like a little bit harsh, but it's about the attitude, you know. No matter what's difficulty, what's challenge you are experiencing, always be positive, you know, be good.
Absolutely, that's a really good one. And Mike, do you have a piece of advice for the next generation?
I've got 2 bits for this next gen, and first one's always make new mistakes. Don't be afraid to have a go at anything, for fear of getting it wrong. That's how society evolves. And the second little bit of advice is at least once a week, leave your device at home. Go out and actually just have chats with your mates. Don't hex them. And I've got 2 teenage boys, and it's incredible the amount of time and communication that goes down. And we had a fun Waitangi day at home with a number of my oldest boys' touch rugby team, who won the nationals, I should add, this year in the under-18s mixed. And he had all his friends over, and there was about 4 hours of no devices because they were having so much fun just being together and hanging out together. So
Like the
please,
good old days.
yeah, back to the good old days. Have a bit of a chin wag and go and do some stuff without a device.
Nice. And Annie, what about you? Advice for the next generation?
My advice is I think people do need to think outside of the box. Especially need to break through the imaginary boundary, because sometimes there's no boundary exists. It's just you know, how you thought about it, such as you can actually challenge your mental and the boss with some difficult questions. You never know. It actually could ended up with very in-depth discussion. It's okay to asking challenging questions to your boss. And I do want people to be more creative, you know, always try to think, is there any alternative solution for this problem? You know, it's not just construction and design, it's also, you know, things happened in commercial meetings, you know, how you negotiate for the result. I highly suggest people to watch a new Netflix drama, Three Body Problem. It will be released the next month.
Oh, maybe email me what that was again, and I can send it out to everybody as well, Annie, to remind them if you like after this.
Okay, it's called a Three Body Problem.
3 Body Problem.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you for joining us today, both of you and everybody who's online, and we will see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
Steve.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.